Midnight whispers in my ear, shadows dance around here. Chill of night so crystal clear, fear turns into what I know dear. Legends whisper in the dark, fingers trace across the mark. Cold touch leaves a fiery spark, lost here deep in urban park. Haunt me, love me, pull me in, spectral whispers on my skin. Dark seduction, hidden grin, all these tales were to begin.
Welcome back, Chimera Crew, to another episode of Urban Legends with Mr. Sean. Today we travel to the Gem State, the land of famous potatoes known as Idaho. If you enjoy these videos, please be sure to comment which state I should do next. Be sure to also like and subscribe. And without further ado, here are 10 urban legends from Idaho. At number 1, we have the Water Babies of Massacre Rocks. The legend of the Water Babies stems from the tragic history of the Native American tribes in the region, particularly the Shoshone. During a period of extreme famine, when food was scarce and survival seemed impossible, mothers were said to face an agonizing decision to end the suffering of their babies by drowning them in the Snake River, rather than watching them die of starvation. According to the legend, these infants did not rest peacefully. Their spirits, now known as the Water Babies, are believed to haunt the banks of the river near Massacre Rocks, a natural geological formation. Visitors to the area have reported hearing eerie cries that sound like a baby's wail carried by the wind over the water. Some say the cries are so realistic that people have searched the riverbanks for lost children, only to find nothing. A few witnesses even claim to have seen the tiny, ghostly forms of babies near the river, their wet skin glistening under the moonlight. Locals warn that the Water Babies may seek vengeance, luring people into the river to meet the same fate they did. At number 2, we have the Nampa Devil. The Nampa Devil is one of Idaho's more sinister legends, often described as a large, shadowy figure with horns, sharp claws, and glowing red eyes. The creature is said to roam the outskirts of Nampa, particularly near the town's darker, more desolate areas such as abandoned barns, wooded backroads, and industrial sites. The legend may have been inspired by strange occurrences in the area, such as unexplained car accidents, livestock mysteriously disappearing, and the sightings of a dark, menacing figure lurking just out of sight. Locals claim that those who come in contact with the Nampa Devil suffer misfortune, from sudden illness to fatal accidents. Stories tell of drivers who see the figure in the road, only for it to vanish just as they swerve to avoid it, often leading to crashes. Some residents believe the Nampa Devil is the physical manifestation of something evil tied to the town's history or the land itself. While no concrete evidence exists, the legend persists, with warnings to avoid lonely roads after dark. At number 3, we have the Boise Spiders. This legend, likely inspired by Idaho's rugged and untamed wilderness, tells of a species of giant spiders living in the foothills around Boise, Idaho. The spiders are said to be much larger than common species, with some described as being the size of a small dog. According to the legend, they build enormous webs that can trap not just insects, but also small animals, and in some stories, even people. Hikers and campers have shared tales of stumbling upon these webs in the foothills or spotting movement out of the corner of their eye, large, dark shapes skittering through the underbrush. There are stories of livestock disappearing near the Boise foothills with nothing left but large, tangled webs in their place. Some claim that the spiders are most active during the hottest months, retreating into caves or underground burrows in the cooler seasons. Despite the lack of verified sightings, the legend continues to make people wary of venturing too far into certain areas, especially at dusk when the spiders are said to be hunting. At number 4, we have the cursed Table Rock Cross. The large cross on Table Rock, a prominent hill overlooking Boise, is both a symbol of faith and a focal point of controversy. Erected in the 1950s, the cross was intended to be a sign of religious dedication. However, over the years, it has become associated with strange occurrences and bad luck. The legend of the cursed cross began when rumors spread that those who attempted to vandalize or deface the cross met with misfortune. One well-known story involves a group of teenagers who tried to spray paint the cross, only to experience a string of bizarre accidents afterward. One broke his leg, another was in a car crash, and yet another was stricken with an unexplained illness. Visitors to the area have also reported feeling uneasy or watched when they get too close to the cross, and some have seen shadowy figures lingering near it at night. In addition to the curse, the cross is rumored to be protected by the spirits of devout believers who once prayed there, and their ghostly figures are said to appear on foggy nights, especially when someone with ill intentions approaches. Should you find yourself in the hills of Boise at the cursed Table Rock Cross, perhaps giving it a wide berth would be recommended. And of course, keep an eye out for spiders. At number 5, we have the dog-faced boy of Silverwood Theme Park. The story of the dog-faced boy begins in the 19th century, long before Silverwood became an amusement park. According to legend, a boy was born with a severe facial deformity that made him resemble a dog, with a snout-like nose and a mouth filled with sharp, canine teeth. Shunned by society and hidden by his family, the boy lived in isolation in the woods near what is now Silverwood Theme Park. He died young, but after his death, stories began circulating of a strange creature, half boy, half dog, being spotted in the woods. When Silverwood was built, strange sightings increased. Employees and visitors reported seeing a small, dog-like figure running through the woods or even inside the park itself after hours. Some people claim to hear eerie growling sounds near the park's wooded areas, especially at night. Those who have encountered the dog-faced boy describe feeling an intense dread, as if being watched by something unnatural. Silverwood's management has never officially acknowledged the legend, but many employees quietly share their stories with curious visitors. At number 6, we have the River of No Return. The Salmon River earned its ominous nickname because early explorers and trappers who ventured into its wild rapids often didn't make it back. The river's powerful current, treacherous rapids, and remote location made navigation nearly impossible, and many who attempted to travel the river were swept away and lost forever. The legend goes beyond natural dangers, though. People claim that the river is cursed, and those who drown in its waters are doomed to become part of the river forever. Sightings of ghostly figures drifting along the riverbanks are common, with some witnesses describing hearing voices calling out for help, only to see no one in the water. Some of the more chilling tales involve entire rafts disappearing without a trace, leaving no wreckage behind. Locals believe that the river exacts a toll on anyone who underestimates its dangers, and that the spirits of the lost are trapped, forever bound to its relentless current. At number 7, we have the Wendigo of the Sawtooth Mountains. The Wendigo is a creature from Algonquin folklore known for its association with cannibalism and insatiable hunger. In Idaho's Sawtooth Mountains, the legend of the Wendigo has taken root in the state's backcountry. According to the legend, the Wendigo is a gaunt, skeletal figure with long claws and glowing eyes, always on the hunt for human flesh. Its terrifying cries are said to echo through the mountain valleys at night, driving fear into the hearts of those who hear it. Hunters and hikers have reported strange sightings of a tall, emaciated figure stalking them from the trees or through the underbrush. Others have found evidence of slaughtered animals, their remains mutilated in ways that don't match any known predator. Some believe that the Wendigo appears when a person becomes lost or desperate in the wilderness, luring them into madness and cannibalism before finally claiming them. The cold, harsh landscape of the Sawtooth Mountains provides the perfect setting for such a malevolent creature. Number 8 on our list is the haunted Old Idaho State Penitentiary. The Old Idaho State Penitentiary in Boise operated from 1872 until 1973. Housing some of Idaho's most notorious criminals, including serial killers and death row inmates. The prison saw its fair share of violence, with several riots, murders, and even executions occurring within its walls. The most infamous incident was a riot in 1971 when a fire broke out and inmates rampaged through the building, causing destruction and chaos. Since the prison's closure, reports of paranormal activity have become frequent. Visitors and staff have heard disembodied voices, the clanking of chains, and the sound of footsteps echoing down empty hallways. The solitary confinement cells known as Siberia are particularly notorious for paranormal experiences. People report feeling intense dread, sudden drops in temperature, and even being touched or pushed by unseen forces. Some claim to have seen full-bodied apparitions of inmates, while others speak of the ghost of a guard who continues his rounds even in death. The prison's death row and gallows also harbor dark energy, with some visitors reporting strange sensations or hearing the sounds of ropes creaking, as if preparing for an execution. Number 9 is Charlie, the Payette Lake Monster. Charlie is a local cryptid said to inhabit Payette Lake near McCall, Idaho. The first reported sighting occurred in the 1920s when a group of locals described seeing a massive, dark creature moving through the water, its long serpentine body breaking the surface. Over the decades, the legend of Charlie has grown, with new sightings occurring every few years. Charlie is described as a large, snake-like creature with a long neck and humps rising above the water. Some compare it to the famous Loch Ness Monster, and locals have embraced Charlie as their version of the iconic cryptid. There are even postcards, toys, and t-shirts featuring Charlie's likeness. Despite numerous searches and sonar scans of the lake, no concrete evidence of the creature has been found. However, many residents of McCall maintain that Charlie is real, with some claiming to have seen the creature firsthand while out on the water. And finally, at number 10, we have the Phantom Miner of Silver City. The Phantom Miner of Silver City is one of Idaho's more eerie and enduring ghost stories, steeped in the rich history of the Old West. Silver City, located in the Owhe Mountains, was once a booming silver mining town in the late 19th century. During its heyday, the town was filled with miners, prospectors, and fortune seekers. Though the silver rush has long since faded, the town remains a historical site, and its ghostly past lingers, particularly with the legend of the Phantom Miner. The story goes that during the peak of Silver City's mining era, a miner died under mysterious circumstances deep in one of the mines. There are multiple variations of the tale, but most agree that the miner either died in an accident, crushed by falling debris, or succumbing to the dangerous, often deadly conditions underground, or was murdered by a rival prospector, possibly over a rich vein of silver. Either way, the miner's body was never properly recovered or buried, leading to the belief that his spirit could not rest in peace. Shortly after his death, strange occurrences were reported in the mines. Fellow miners claimed they heard the unmistakable sound of a pickaxe striking rock, echoing through the dark tunnels, even when no one was working. Some reported seeing a shadowy figure in the distance, only to find no one when they investigated. Over time, these sightings became associated with the deceased miner, and he became known as the Phantom Miner of Silver City. Those who have spent time in the old mining shafts or in the town itself have shared chilling stories. Visitors to the town's ruins and historians working in the area claim to have seen an apparition of a man in miner's clothing, covered in dirt and dust, with hollow eyes that seem to peer into the soul of those who encounter him. Some say the Phantom Miner approaches those who get too close to his final resting place, watching them from the shadows before disappearing without a trace. A more specific version of the legend claims that the Phantom Miner only appears to those who are in danger. According to this account, his ghost is actually a protector of sorts, warning miners and visitors of impending accidents. Some old-timers have passed down stories of how the Phantom Miner saved their lives by appearing before dangerous cave-ins or gas leaks. His ghostly presence is said to chill the air, causing an unnatural cold deep within the mine, just before disaster strikes. And that, dear viewers, is our list. I hope you enjoyed these chilling legends from the state of Idaho. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider becoming a channel member, joining the Patreon, or checking out my various wares over on YouTube and Mercari. Until next time, stay spooky, and Alpha Great Day, and an even Beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.
In the dark where whispers hide, legends linger, shadows glide. Close your eyes, but don't forget, the night's not over yet. Urban tales that twist and bend,